Hello everyone, how are you all doing today? A very warm welcome to our YouTube channel. So we got numerous queries on our channel and on social media handles about NFTs and its marketplace. As promised, we are here with an insightful video for it. We have the CEO of Idea Usher, Mr. Nitish Garg, on our platform to take you through the development process of NFT marketplace and give an elaborative insight about NFTs. A very warm welcome to you, sir. We have gathered few frequently asked questions by our subscribers on which we would like you to share your thoughts. So without any further ado, let's dig into it. The first question is, what is D.A.O? Decentralized Autonomous Organization? It would be great if you can elaborate on that.
There is a concept of D.A.O, Decentralized Autonomous Organizations. So it's a very famous concept these days. And it's based on that concept that if a person is buying a particular token or if a person is buying a particular NFT, then they also have a say in the entire in the matters of the company or in the matters of the marketplace. So just as an added functionality for the user, such that he feels part of the community. So if I have a functionality like this, I would feel more I would have a greater role to play in the community, and I'll feel more engaged towards the community. So because it's like owning a stock in a company. So if I'm owning a stock in a company, obviously I'll have more preference towards that company. So it is just a way to do that. But if you want, that feature can be removed or can be kept for a later stage.
When we open the application, users have to log in. They can do that via centralized sign-up. So what is a centralized sign-up and how can one incorporate that?
So where a user can just come in and he or she can just sign up using Facebook or Gmail. He or she doesn't have to go and attach a MetaMask wallet. So again, that will remove a barrier to entry. So this is called centralized login so this is again a very good functionality to have.
What exactly is a royalty feature when these NFTs are sold subsequently?
Royalty is a very good feature to have. For example, if I'm minting a particular token, I can add a royalty onto it. So for example, if I create a token and I sell that token to Shreya, and Shreya further sells that token to Saha. So when Shreya would be selling that token to Saha, I would have rights to a royalty fee. So for example, Shreya bought it for $100 and she later on sold to Saha for $200. Then I can demand a royalty of 30% on the $100 earning she made. So this is again a very good way to incentivize creators to come to your platform, because we are not just paying them once, they are paying for every sale which is being made.
The term liquidity refers to the process, speed and ease with which a given asset or security can be converted into cash. How do we maintain the liquidity of NFTs?
If we haven't got people who want to sell NFTs, then we won't have buyers. So to have buyers, we also need sellers.
How would you gain liquidity of selling NFTs in the platform?
There are two main ways to do that. One way is where we try to get liquidity from existing marketplaces, where for example we start featuring NFTs which are there on OpenSea right now. We start featuring NFTs which are there on Rarible right now, and that is one way to do it. Second way to do it is to generate new sellers, to have new people who want to create their own NFTs, who want to find more sellers, more buyers for their collections. So we try to encourage them to come and list on our platforms. So that is the second way.
How will the users receive NFTs of the topic they like? How would a subscription work actually?
We can have subscription packages. Again, this is a very new functionality which is being incorporated. It has a lot of attraction where buyers can come in, they can choose to have a subscription, and if they have a subscription, they would get. So, for example, if I buy a $20 subscription, or if I buy a $50 subscription, so I would get certain NFTs every month. So there are certain NFTs which are being listed for quite less. So there would be NFTs which would be listed for $10, $20, $30. So what happen is I would come on in the platform. I would say that I am looking for so I'll buy a $20 subscription, and I would mark my favorite categories. I would say that my favorite category is football. My favorite category is Hollywood. So based on the categories which I've marked, any new NFTs which is being published in that particular category and which is under the mark of $50, I would automatically have that NFT. So based on what kind of subscription I am having, I can have 2 to 3 NFTs every month. We can also provide a discount to the user in this case, and we can try to get a discount from the seller as well through this subscription service. A buyer can also come in and he can subscribe to a single seller. For example, again, if Saha publishes his NFTs quite frequently, so if he publishes music, if he publishes artwork, so I can subscribe to him. So if I subscribe to him, again, whatever NFT is publishing, so I can have access to those NFTs if I'm subscribing to that particular person.
How would you research when adding a particular feature to the application?
Research, the prima facie research, it suggests that users would like this functionality because there's an inbuilt element of surprise in it, and they somehow understand this functionality from Web 2 platform. So when we are researching for any functionality of Web 3, what we do is we try to make an extension from Web 2, whether that same functionality was a hit in Web 2 or not.
How does a subscription to an artist work?
Saha comes in and he creates an NFT. So that NFT would be fractionalized and it would be distributed among all the subscribers he's having. So if he's having let's say if he's having 100 subscribers, so any NFT which he is minting, that NFT would be fractionalized, and according to the subscription plan, those NFTs would go to those 100 subscribers.
What is a fractional NFT?
Fractional NFT is like a complete NFT, but it is it's not a unique NFT which I'm holding. It would be shared by 99 other people who subscribe to the platform, but only those 100 people would be having it. There won't be any other person besides those 100 people who would be holding that NFT.
Who decides the number of fractions in the NFTs?
Artists can decide it, or we can also automate it. For example, if an artist has 200 subscribers, then automatically we can generate 200 copies of it. If an artist has 300 subscribers, then automatically we can generate 300 copies of it. So we can automate it, or we can also give that option to choose the number, or we can also directly just automate it depending on the number of followers the artist is having.
How much royalty can the artists have on subsequent purchases?
So how much royalty they want to charge. So they can set it to 0, they can set it to 10%, they can set it to 30%. Again, that depends on, that's a basic demand and supply formula. So if there's an artist who is in great demand, obviously he can have a greater royalty added to his artwork.
How would you get to know that your NFT has to be now another marketplace?
NFT is being published on the marketplace. So if I've got NFT on my website, or if I've got NFT on OpenSea, there would be a unique link which would be there. So that unique link can be tracked.
How do we establish the initial liquidity?
If we are able to have a constant stream of sellers, then buyers would automatically come in, because buyers are looking for newer projects to invest in. They are looking for newer arts to own. So that's not the difficult part of the puzzle. The more difficult part of the puzzle is to attract the sellers.
What is cost of entry for the buyer and potential benefits for the artist?
So that is where the digital art is coming in. So the cost of entry for the buyer is less. That also makes the seller, so it creates a constant stream of income for the seller, because the cost of entry is very less for the buyer. So I can actually have the same piece of art which would be sold for $5,000 in any art gallery. I can have it for $10 or $5. Enables the seller to have a constant recurring income of $5,000 divided among various people.
How will the buyers feel?
Yeah, it won't be unique, but it would still be limited. So it's like limited edition artwork. So if we talk, so for example, then there are a few marketplaces which are just focusing on sneakers, limited edition artwork. So there are these limited edition sneakers where people line up to buy these, whether physical or even digital products for that matter.
MetaMask is a popular cryptocurrency wallet that supports a broad range of Ethereum-based tokens and NFTs on supported blockchains. While experienced crypto investors may appreciate the speed and simplicity of the wallet, new investors may find it difficult to navigate. So, how can custodial NFTs help these new investors?
So, through a custodial NFT, the user would be able to create and buy an NFT without going through the hassle of adding MetaMask. So this is good for a lot of layperson over there. So people who do not understand all the technicalities behind it, but they still want to be part of this revolution.
How do the wallet transactions work in the application?
Yeah, so they can transfer it to their own private wallets. They can transfer it to any wallet. So that would work very much similar to any other cryptocurrency which you hold. So for example, if you're holding Ether in your Binance account, you can still transfer it to your any private account. It will work very similar to that.
If you can explain the chat functionality and community feature.
So we can have a functionality where people can come in, they can chat. So chatting is much like commenting. So people can come in, they can add their comments, they can like a particular collection. They can add various kinds of emojis over there. Other users can again talk about it. So with like, if we have the functionality of liking, if we have the functionality of commenting, users would also be able to they would also be able to gauge whether that particular NFT is trending or not, or whether that particular NFT is famous or not. So I think that functionality can be added within the existing scope itself.
What do you think? Will adding comments be better or simply texting?
Would be texting in real time. So commenting and texting, it's more or less the same, more or less similar. And the only difference between commenting would be that comments would be preserved for a longer period of time. Again, if you're talking about real time, so again, it's just how the interface works. The technology is similar, just how the interface is there. So for texting, the interface is slightly different. For commenting, the interface is slightly different, but the underlying technology works on WebSockets, and it's almost similar.
Verifying an NFT allows you to know what exactly you are buying, who are you transacting with, and when the transaction has been successfully completed. Even more, you are able to collect useful market data all about NFT projects from all around the world. So we would like to know, how does the NFT verification work?
It can, like, you can go and verify each and every NFT as well, but manually verifying each and every NFT would be quite difficult, I guess. So there are two ways we can approach this. One way is where we implement anti-plagiarism or anti-copying mechanism for all the NFTs, but those NFTs won't be showcased as platform verified. Platform wherever you are showcasing the mark platform verified, you are actually assuming the responsibility that it has been verified by you and it is actually an original artwork. So the buyer can actually like go and sue you if the artwork is not original. So like manually verifying each and every NFT, I guess that would be a little difficult, especially if we're not charging the seller for that.
Are there any disadvantage of having a custodial wallet?
So if there's a hack, or we would be implementing security measures, but no one can be sure. Even companies like Google and Binance can't be sure about it. So if there's some kind of hack, then that leaves you so vulnerable, and you are responsible for the user's assets. So that is one disadvantage of having that functionality, that you would be liable for the assets. So even a disclaimer does not work in that case. So because I do not think courts would entertain a disclaimer in that case.
Are there any other problems associated with custodial wallets?
So with custodial wallets, a liability comes along with it. So through disclaimers and through terms and conditions, we can have a limited protection, definitely, because a lot of these exchanges which got hacked, they do not they do not take complete responsibility for the user's assets, but that does not give you complete immunity. So it did. So that is the disadvantage of a custodial or a centralized system. With a decentralized system, it's entirely their wallet. It's in their wallet. You are not assuming any responsibility for it. They commit, they buy it.
If people lose their NFT, how can they make sure that they don't get into any legal problems?
It's not your responsibility. It's their own MetaMask wallet, and they have the private key to it. They forget the private key. It's their headache. It's not your headache. So they lose it. It's their headache. It's not your headache. For the custodial wallet, they won't be having. So there's no question of losing it because it won't be with you. So if it's with you, they cannot lose it. You can lose it. If you lose it, you would be liable for it.
What are the security measures for me if I get hacked and lose my NFT?
See, there isn't any 100% security defense, which again, as I was telling you, even companies like Google and Amazon and Binance, they cannot have 100%. They cannot guarantee 100% security. So that cannot be done. So especially for a startup, we can implement certain security measures. We haven't, like in any of the systems which we built till now, there hasn't been a breach. But again, nothing is 100%. There isn't anything called 100% secure. So in terms of legality, in terms of legal actions which can be taken, again, we are not aware of those. But yeah, people can definitely take actions if in the appropriate courts if their assets are lost.
What is our liability in such a situation?
So you would be liable to a certain extent, even with the terms and condition document. But again, yeah, that would be reduced to quite an extent. So if you do not get that disclaimer over there or that TNC signed over there, then you are completely exposed and vulnerable. But if you have that terms and conditions that limit your vulnerability, but that does not completely immune you. So the only way to completely be safe from this is not to have this functionality and only have a decentralized system in place.
What is the initial target audience?
Again, so I think the initial goal would be to get sellers on the platform. Once we get sellers on the platform, then I think buyers would automatically turn up. So if I were in your shoes, I would be focusing on the sellers. So once we have the sellers, then we can just showcase the work and people who are well-versed. So when it comes to buyer, we won't be focusing on any specific. So buyer would depend on what kind of seller we've got on the platform.
So what is the difference between them and OpenSea?
So people who maybe went to OpenSea, but they couldn't figure it out, and they couldn't figure it out how to add a MetaMask wallet, and then they left the process in between. So when they see your platform and they see that they do not have to do all of that, they may actually come and end up buying from you.
How will we set up our target market?
If you already know, so for example, these guys they already had a platform on music. They knew that they want to create a platform on music itself. So, but if you do not have any specific preference right now, you are just exploring, then one way to go about it is where you create a like a platform which is not developed to focus on a particular niche, but which can gradually adapt to any particular niche depending on the data which you receive when you launch the platform.
What differentiates you from the competitors, and how to target various niches?
For example, we create a separate campaign for musicians, we create a separate campaign for sportsters, we create a separate campaign for so again, with online marketing, you have the ability of targeting the campaigns to specific users. So you do not have to create it's not like a print campaign, or it's not like a TV campaign where it would be same campaign for everyone. You can have a targeted campaign for each and every type of user, and then based on which campaign gets the maximum attention or which campaign gets the maximum traction, based on that we can make decisions. But even in the research which we did, the conclusion which was drawn is that it would be better to have a platform which is for different kinds of things rather than just focused on one. So the differentiator which we can add is definitely verification. So what kind of verification can we provide to the users? Are we able, because right now the main problem with platforms if we are able to make it very refined, so for example only top 100 artists or top 100 creators of each and every category are being featured over there.
How are the meetings and the process going to be through the development?
We are anticipating near about 4 months, so 16 to 17 weeks of development time. So if we start today, then by end of April you would have it ready, completely ready, like everything in place.
How would be the meetings?
So again, we would be utilizing Slack, so the team would change. Now the developers and the project manager would be there. So there would be, again, you can talk on a regular basis with the entire team, and then you can have weekly meetings. So weekly builds would be sent. So we at Idea Usher, we follow agile based development. So in agile based development, we create bi-weekly sprints. So sprint is like a small goal. So with each and every sprint, there is an associated goal. So for example, in the beginning, the goal can be creating the sign in, sign up, adding wallet functionality. So once the sprint is over, a build would be generated. You would be able to test the build. If there's any feedback, you can provide that feedback, and then we would be going on to the next build.
So will there be any niche creation, or will be following a niche around which this particular application is going to get developed?
Niche can be from various perspectives. Niche can be from type of NFT, so music NFT, picture NFT, video NFT. Niche can be from the perspective of category, sports related, comic related, movies related, so Hollywood related, Bollywood related, something like that. So if you got Hollywood related, then you would have everything related to Hollywood. You would have pictures over there, videos over there, you would have music over there, everything related to Hollywood. If you make it related to football, so you would have everything related to football. Then you cannot, or if you make it related to sports, you would have everything related to sports over there. So either that is one approach, or the niche can be, for example, you focus just on indie artists. So an indie artist or a local creator can create anything. It can be sports, it can be related to music, it can be related to films.
So with this, we come to the end of our FAQ session. Thank you so much, sir, for taking out time and giving such great insights on NFT marketplace and answering our questions. So fellow entrepreneurs and our subscribers, if you have any more questions related to NFT or any other query, do drop it down on our comment section below. Till then, keep following us and wait for our next insightful video to come up.